Intellivision Dude here, and today we're going to look at my systems and a few peripherals and controllers that I really love. Not all my controllers and stuff, but just a few select ones that are my favorites. Since some other people were doing some showing off their systems, I thought I would do the same thing. So we'll start off over here with the ColecoVision. Now I have my expansion module 1 attached to it that lets you play Atari 2600 games. And here is the roller controller. Now I don't yet own the expansion module 2, which is the driving controller, but that really isn't high on my list. Maybe someday down the road, if I want to be a completist, I might buy it, but for now I don't really need it. Here's my Nintendo GameCube with the Game Boy player attached on the bottom, and this microphone here, which only I guess a few select games use, like the couple of Mario parties. This is my Sega Dreamcast. This is my Atari 2600 with my Wiko command control. I don't think you can read that on the camera, can you? Or can you? Yeah. Very nice joystick. I also have the paddle controllers and the driving controllers, but I didn't need to get those out. I would like to get the trackball for the Atari 2600 someday. It's not too expensive, I guess. I've seen it online a few places that was kind of affordable, but I just can't afford it at the moment. This is my Intellivision Model 1 with the IntelliVoice attached to it, and this is my Intellivision Model 2 with my ECS attached to it. Oh, we'll get over to that side later, and I also have another Model 2 over there, but don't really need to see that. And I apologize if these systems aren't really cleaned very well. I just haven't had time to clean all this stuff since I got a lot of it recently. So someone just gave me this just recently, because I actually just didn't own one anymore. All I had was the PS2. But this was the model that I had when I bought it long ago. Here's my Nintendo 64. There's my PS2. And I actually have a PS1 memory card inside of it with a sticker that came from an old PSM magazine. Thought you might find that kind of interesting. Looks like a little zombie smiley face. And it says brains on it. I used to have a lot of the old PS1 what are they called? PSM magazines. I think I even had the very first issue. Too bad I tossed them all a long time ago. Here is my Genesis Model 1 with the Sega Genesis Power Base converter attached that lets you play Sega Master System games on it. You put the cartridge games up here and the card ones over here. Here's the Model 2, which is the model I bought originally. This is my Sega CDX, which I'm very proud of for finding it for $1 at a yard sale. But it does have a slight problem with it. It plays all the CD games so far just fine, but it doesn't read all the cartridge games. And that's a long story, but I tried to figure out by process of elimination by some people helped me on the internet, but nothing ever seemed to help. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it or sell it one day. But I'm not going to sell it right now, but it's just a thought. This is my Super Nintendo, which probably is the least used of all the systems here, unfortunately. I might, since I just bought Super Mario RPG, finally, this might get some use soon. But I just don't want to get into the game just yet, because I know when I get into it, I won't get into anything else. And I'm still playing all those Atari games, trying to get those high scores. Here is my Atari 7800, and there is my NES. Now here are the few select peripherals that I was going to show off. Oh, here's my DS. That's my only handheld system that I own. Here's my NES Advantage. That's not really rare or anything. Most places sell them for $5. I haven't really used it much. Here's my 6-button arcade stick, which I only paid $5 for, but it usually goes for more on eBay. Let's see here. Here is my blue Justifier gun for the Genesis and Sega CD games. I am still on the lookout for the pink one. It's not high on my list anymore. I really wanted it at one time. Really wanted it. Just didn't want to pay the high price for it. But now it's not really high on my list anymore. But I'd still like to have it. Here is the Sega Master System controller. I brought that out just to remind people that you can use this for the ColecoVision. Let's say like on Burger Time, you can plug this into the controller port 1, and on the second controller you can actually select which game and which level you want to play on, but you can actually use the first controller to control with. So if you don't like the ColecoVision controller, you can use this as an alternative. Let's see, what am I going to show you next here? Oh, cord's just a little bit on the tangly side here. So I just brought everything out here. This is my NES 7800 controller, which I like, that I just recently bought. But I noticed that the cable they used, you probably can't see this on the video. I really doubt it. But it says Super Cable on it. And what they used was this, where is it? I know I brought it out here. Was this Genesis controller extender, is what they used for the cord. And the reason I brought this out here was for another reason. You can actually use this Genesis control extender on quite a few old school systems that use this kind of plug. Pretty much all of them, I think. You can use it for the Atari 2600. Gives you more room to work with. 7800. You can even use it on the ColecoVision. And you can actually use this on the Intellivision too. Well, even though this right here is a little bulky, it won't fit into the controller port on the Intellivision 2, but you can just file this part here down a little bit and it'll fit like I did to this one. You probably also can't see this on the video too well, but I just scraped that down on the sides. I think people have even done the same thing for the Vectrex. I think that might use the same kind of thing, connection. If not, it was something similar, but someone used the cord like this. I've seen one in a picture somewhere. See, another thing you can do is if you wanted, let's say on the ColecoVision or the Intellivision, if you didn't want to use the second controller to select your game, let's say you're playing 2-player, since this has a really loose connection on the outside of it, really loose. Let me see if I can't demonstrate that here. With one hand, probably not. But that fits into there really loose. So loose that you could switch out controllers really fast if you had to. If you wanted to switch from one controller to the other one, you can do that very fast because that fits in there super loose. Really loose. I brought this one out here, the Sega Genesis 6-button controller, because this is my favorite D-pad of any D-pad I have ever used. That thing is just so smooth. So I use this for all my Atari 2600 games. I use this for breaking my Centipede records. This works really good on Centipede and a lot of those games. Maze Craze. Now some people are still like their joysticks for it, but now you can use any Genesis pad on the like the Atari, but I prefer this one, this 6-button controller in particular, just because of the D-pad. And finally, I think I've looked over almost everything. I just brought out this one because of the different colored buttons in the D-pad. I believe all I had to do some research on this. I think this was just nothing more than a kit that they used to sell back in the day, and you could open up your controller and switch out the buttons and stuff, because I didn't know what I had here. But anyway, I think we're at the 10-minute mark here, and that was a look at my systems, so thanks for watching.